Hey, how you doing? I'm back. Right. So, I've still buried myself in this subject, because I really think I can work it out, Um, and I worked a lot of stuff out, I think. That's why I'm putting this film out. Um, I think, the reason for our harassment like the main thing, you know. And if you're not aware of like what's going on, you tend to think you've done something wrong or something like that, or that everyone hates you, or a lot of people don't like you, and it's just not the case. But they'd love you to think that. Um, I think what the reason for our harassment, and especially like the harassment of RH negatives, because it's got something to do with our blood. Obviously, there's an in proportionate amount of RH negatives being harassed. Okay, and our blood is slightly different from other people's in that it's copper based. It's not iron based, and copper is like used in electrics for good reason. And I think it's this copper in our blood that makes us slightly more psychic than other people, and you know, slightly more, in that realm, with the third eye and the psychics and everything like that. Okay, and I think what's happening is they want to use us in their demonic rituals. I'm sure of it. I think what they want to do is they want to harass you until you either give in to them or do something stupid that they can blackmail you with. Okay, and when they've got that, or when you've given in to them, I think what they want to do is use you in these demonic rituals because we're more open to that kind of thing, And I think what they want to do is have demons put inside you. I'm sure of it. And I'm sure it's almost exactly the same as what happens to these pop stars and that when they sell their souls to the devil. You might think it's a joke and that, but it's not a joke. They do sell their souls to the devil. And you think about that whole terminology, what it means. You're saying you're going to give your sense of self, okay, to the devil. Right, you're going to sell it, so he's going to take that and he's going to put something else in there, into your body. Okay, and I think that's what they want to do. I'm pretty sure, and it's all about a psychic war, and it's got a lot to do as well with the Christianity and Buddhism and how that's being like dirtied and attacked all the time. Your Christianity. Because basically I think what's happened is Christianity started off with a real like spiritual aspect to it, where they were using their pineal gland, they were using their third eye. Okay, they had the good diet and stuff, and they were open and they were awake and they were studying Christianity. And what's happened in history is the Christian church has been attacked, as we know it has. Okay, and they've taken away everything that kind of corroborates Christianity to be like a genuine thing. So you go to church, you pray, you sing your prayers and that, but there's no real magic, is there? There's no real spirituality about it, So you go there and like a lot of people who are brought up Christian, you sort of tell people you're Christian, a lot of them, but they're not. They're atheists, and I was like that as well. It's just something that you had to put on forms when it said asked you what your religion was. You'd put Christian, and and I've always sort of like thought like there's something not right about the church and Christianity, but there was always something right about something good about the Bible, something good about Christ, and that. But like there was something missing, And I think what they've done is like they put poison in our foods. They've calcified our third eye and made us unspiritual, you know. And then what they do is they offer you something spiritual, because obviously in Satanism and Luciferianism, like they're awake, you know. They're always ramming it down our throats how their third eye is awake, the Illuminati and stuff. And what they'll do is they'll persuade you into Satanism by gang stalking you, ruining your life and things like that, or taking the mickey out of Jesus, and stuff like that. And what you find is when you get into Satanism that it's real, you know, and you'll think, wow, you know, maybe this is like the real deal. But of course Christianity is real as well. But all they've done is they've taken away the spiritual aspect of it and closed your third eye. But the reality is you can be awake and spiritual and follow both those paths. And if everyone was awake and their third eye was awakened, how many people would choose Satanism over Christianity? Think about it, you know. That's why they do this. So instead of like making Satanism better than Christianity, they basically destroyed Christianity. And look at how they operate. They do that everywhere they go and to everyone. You know, look what they've done to us. That's what they've done to us. You know, they've ruined our lives and our existence and our reputations in order to make them look better. You see, you know, it's exactly what they've done to the church. Because you know, the whole New Age kind of movement, it's not really new at all. What they've done is they've taken all aspects of it and lumped it all into like a religion that's got nothing to do with sort of Jesus or God, really, you know. And so yeah, so that when you get into Satanism, you know, the first thing they'll do is just really normal stuff, the stuff that's associated with both faiths, like opening your third eye, changing your diet. And you think, well, you know, this Satanism's okay, it's not really evil at all. What they're doing, you know, they've got me got my diet sorted out, my third eye is opened, you know. But then they'll start to bring in their Satanism, you know. They're like hurting things, destroying things, evil stuff, you know. And I really think there's a strong link between anal sex and demonic possession. Okay, I'm not having a go at homosexuals here, but I've heard from many sources in my research that one of the ways that they insert these demons into you is they have anal sex with you, and they stimulate the base chakra. Okay, so you have to be willing, you know, to allow these things in. So that's what they bring in, you know. At some point, they'll bring in, okay, so we've got to do this, you know, to enlighten you even more, I suppose they'll say. Is you're gonna have to you know, have anal sex, okay? And it's weird how homosexuals are almost always atheist. You know, the whole I don't understand the whole homosexual agenda. We're being bombarded with images of homosexuality on the TV, on the internet, all these adverts and that. Wherever you go, I'm going to be talking about the job that I've just had. That there was an disproportionate amount there with homosexuals as well, and it's like an invasion, you know. And I just think, why? What has this got to do with Luciferianism? What's it got to do with Satanism? And that's what it's got to do with. Okay, because you know, that's probably one of the reasons, one of the ways that they'll get you to allow these demons inside you, is they'll sort of argue, you know, that maybe, I don't know, you have to sort of like try being homosexual or something, just give it a try or whatever, you know, or something like that. But really, it's demonic. And you know, if you like do something like that, you're likely to get possessed, you know, in some way. Okay, so you know, I think that's why the RH negatives are being harassed. You know, I also think that there could be something to do with you know, the reptilians and the shape shifting as well. You know, I think it could be that we have the that ability. The RH negatives have that ability, but we don't know. You know, and that's why they want us to be part of their agenda. You know, and what I'm saying is, you can take aspects of this new age and just take the good out of it. And I don't think it's going against Christianity at all. You know, I don't think having crystals, you know, quartz crystals and things like that, and using them is evil. Right? I don't think eating raw fruit and vegetables is evil. It's not. You know that it's not. You know, being healthy is not evil. Okay? It's take all these good aspects, because it's not just that, it's the healing aspects of it as well. These holistic doctors and that, you know, they can really heal you, you know, with sound and vibration and light, you know, because the pharmaceutical industry is not a good industry, you know. It's so you can see what they've done. Basically, they've taken the good aspects, and they use it as like a lure into Satanism, you know, because in the beginning everything's good, but it won't be in the end. And that stuff that's good doesn't go against Christianity at all. I don't believe. Okay. So that's a bit about that, you know. So the other thing is, if you do something like really evil and really stupid, you will be a slave. They will enslave you, because they'll use that against you whenever they want. You know, they will blackmail you. They'll make you do things that you don't want to do, get involved in things you don't want to get involved in. Okay, and they'll always have that. They'll always have whatever it is, their photographic evidence or film evidence of you doing something highly illegal, you know, to do with this kind of Satanism and mysticism, you know. You know, and they can do what they want, you know, and I think about myself, you know, I'm a NURBS modeller, an alias modeller in the car industry. If they had something really bad on me, they could have me working for next to nothing, you know. You see what I mean? They'd have me working for next to nothing and doing the hours they want me to do, you know, and I'd just be a slave, basically. And I think that's what they want, you know. I'm more 99% certain that's what they want me to do. Okay, and that's what they want you to do as well. So, you know, you just got to keep fighting them. Okay, they're losing, because the people who are behind this, who are really at the top, are these elites, okay, and the royals, right, who are running this world, okay, and they're not just upsetting us, they're upsetting half the bloody world, you know. Look at what's happened to Tommy Robinson being arrested, you know, for reporting on these grooming gangs, you know. Look at Alex Jones and InfoWars. They're fighting these people, okay, and they're the same people who we're fighting. So don't be alone in this, you know. what we need to do, I think, is get involved in all aspects of fighting these people, whether it's got anything to do with gang stalking or not. You know, I'm really keen on getting involved in this Tommy Robinson thing in London. That's building up really, really well. There's people, more and more people are going to these events where they're campaigning to get him released. You know, and the thing is, they won't release him. You know, because there's no way that they can be seen to bend over to this pressure. Because once we've got them on this, then we'll just continue, and they know we will. So they've got themselves in a really, really difficult situation through really bad decision making, because they've trapped themselves, you know, and they've trapped themselves into keeping Tommy in prison, and they've trapped themselves into having people in London every single weekend until he's released campaigning against it, which means it's probably going to go on for 13 months, and it's going to cost the City of London an absolute fortune. So get involved in that, you know. Fighting against this gang stalking and against these globalists and Satanists and what have you. What I think the other thing we need to always keep doing is keep making films, making flyers, talking about it, letting people know. It's your duty to do that, you know. But what I'm saying is, if you use terminology like gang stalking and targeted individuals with people who don't know about this, they'll think you might have lost it. Okay, so what I'm saying is we need to drop these this terminology, because what it is harassment and bullying. You know, that's what it is. That's what we've always called it. You know, and when I was I'll talk about this in another thing, but I had a job for a while, and of course I was getting harassed. It all exploded the other day, and I had to go at them. I started defending myself, telling people to leave me alone. But when my boss brought me aside, I started using terminology like targeted individual and gang stalking, and you can see the eyes start rolling, you know. But then I started using the proper terminology that he understands, okay, like bullying and harassment, and that's what we've got to do, you know, because that's what it is basically. You know, and it's the same. It's exactly the same thing. It's a bit of an attack against us. This terminology that we've been sort of trained to use, really. It's exactly the same as if you look at the basis behind this reptilian shapeshifting kind of theory, which has been sort of muddied actually partly by the term shapeshifting. Okay, because this term shapeshifting has come out of sort of nowhere, really. But what it is metamorphosis. Okay, metamorphosis is shapeshifting. You know, and metamorphosis is real. Metamorphosis is in nature everywhere, and funnily enough, it's a lot in reptiles. You know, so they take something real, they give it like a conspiracy theory kind of tag, and people laugh at it. You know, but I find it funny, you know, that people say shape-shifting is impossible, because there's metamorphosis goes on in nature everywhere. Look at the metamorphosis between a maggot and a fly. You know, that literally it trumps a human turning into a reptile any day. They're totally different, you know. Now, if you did that metamorphosis quickly, that's all you've got to do, and then you've got a metamorphosis, a real shapeshift. And there's none of this, you know. I'm not saying that it's not true about the, you know, the, like what David Icke says, that it's kind of an illusion, you know. But there's no need to say shape-shifting is impossible, because it's not. You know, a caterpillar into a butterfly. They do it slowly, okay, but they do it. So what if you could make a technology that could make that happen faster? You'd have real shape-shifting, metamorphosis, you know. Okay, and it's exactly the same as that. So I'm saying we should stop like using these this terminology, which makes it sound like a conspiracy theory. Okay. Right, I'm going to leave that film there, you know, and but I've got a lot more coming. I've got a lot of information coming your way about a lot of stuff to do with targeted individuals. So looking, you know, and I'm working on a website as well. That's going to be up soon. I've actually started doing it. Started putting stuff on it and that, but it's not ready yet. But when it is, it's meant to be a kind of a massive like resource box of resources. You know, it'll have techniques, information, like the background of what our harassment, all with 9/11 and the elites and everything. You know. So I'm really excited about that, to put that out, you know, and I know it's not going to be a really popular website, but it's there for people, you know, and I think especially useful for people who've just started getting harassed or just worked out that they're being harassed, and they'll be able to go there and get masses of information that's really going to help them, you know. So, you know, stay tuned with me, you know, and because I think like the information I'm going to be coming out with like in the future is just going to get better and better, because I can really start to see things fitting together nicely, the reasons for our harassment and everything, you know. Okay, anyway, so I'll see you guys. All right, bye.